Hi everyone, welcome back. This is week 3 of Machine Learning Zoomcamp, and this week we will talk about machine learning for classification. The project we will work with this week is churn prediction. So imagine that we work at a telecom company. So this is the company where we work, and we have some customers. So these are our clients. So these are just usual people who use our services, who use our phone lines, internet, TV, and so on. So we have quite a few of them. And naturally, some of these clients might not be happy with the services that we provide, or maybe they see a better alternative somewhere. And some of them might think of stopping the contract with us and leaving to some other company. So for example, there could be some other telecom company, say telco 2, and then some of the customers we have might be thinking, okay, what if I left to this other company, telco 2? And so what we want to predict, what we want to do is we want to identify clients like that, clients that want to leave our company or churn. So churn means stopping using the services of our company and leaving somewhere. Could be a different to a competitor, or just stopping using our services altogether. So what we want to do is to identify which customers are about to churn and assign everyone some score between 0 and 1 that tells how likely this customer is going to leave. So for example, for this customer, the likelihood of churning could be just 20%. So this is not very likely that this customer will churn. So for this, maybe 30%, 35%, 50%, 45%. And for this customer, the last one that we said that was thinking of leaving, so maybe for this customer, the probability of churning is like 85%. So what we want to do is we want to score each customer and understand what is the likelihood that they churn. And then if we see that a customer is likely to churn, what we want to do is we want to send them email, like some promotional message, giving, for example, some discount, like 25% off or something like this. And when they receive such a promotional email, they may think, okay, like this is actually a good deal. So maybe I don't need to leave the company. I can stay with this telecom operator and do not leave to another telecom operator. So this is what we want to do. So we want to stop people from churning by suggesting them discounts. And here, of course, we need to be accurate. So we don't want to offer discounts to people who are not going to churn, because we would be losing money, right? So if we, for example, give 25% discount to this person, they're going to stay with the company for sure. So we would just earn less money, right? So they are going to stay anyways. And we also don't want to accidentally miss people like this. So people who are going to churn. So we want to make sure that we target them with this promotion. And the way we approach this with machine learning is binary classification. Remember, we talked already about this. So there are many different supervised machine learning algorithms, supervised machine learning problems. We have regression, we have classification, and classification can be binary and multi-class classification. So in this particular case, we are dealing with so our target variable, this y, and yeah, so this is the formula for one single observation. So this X could be a feature vector describing customer number I, and this Y is a variable that tells us whether this customer left or not. So Y in this case can take two values. So it can take 0 and it can take 1. 0 in this case means, so let's start with 1. So 1 means that it's a positive example. So this customer did leave, did churn. So it's like things like churn, or when we talked about spam, so positive example would be a message with spam, right? And 0 is negative example. So let's use red. So it could be like no churn or no spam and things like this. So here 0 means that there is something present, like the effect we want to predict is present. So it could be churn, it could be spam, it could be something else. And 0 means that it's not present. So, and in our case, we want to identify users who churn. So we want to actually identify these people who have day Y as one. And the output of this model is, so this again, G from Xi. The output of our model is a score between 0 and 1, 0 and 1, which is the likelihood that this particular customer, number I, is going to churn. The way we do it, so again, let's take all the customers we have. So we have these customers, and let's say we take customers from last month, and then for each customer, we know who actually left. So we know, for example, that this person left, and this customer decided to stop the contract with us. So for these customers, our target label is 1. They did leave, right? And for these people, they stayed with the company, so they didn't leave. They have a label of 0. So this becomes our Y. And the information that we have about the customers becomes our X. So this information can be some demographic information, where they live, how much they pay, what kind of services they have, what kind of contract they have, and things like this. We can use this information to determine which things lead to actually to churn. And this is the main idea behind this project. So we want to build a model using the historical data like that. We want to build a model that would look at existing customers that we have right now and score every one of them, assign some probability, likelihood of churn, and then target those with high score of churning, target those with promotional emails. And for that, we will use a data set from Kaggle. So this is this data set, telco customer churn. So this is a data set about customer churn, and so it's basically from a telecom operator. So we have different things like customer ID, gender, whether they have partners, dependents, how long in months they are with the company, all these things. And one of the columns that is quite interesting for us is churn. So it's not showing here, but this is the last column. Yeah, it says whether this customer actually left the company and stopped the contract with them. So we will use this data for this project. And what we will do first is we will download the data. We will do some preparation for this data, and then we will set up a validation framework like previously. But this time, instead of implementing this manually using plain pandas and NumPy, we will use scikit-learn. Then we will do exploratory data analysis, similar to what we did, but we will also look at the target variable, which is different from, so previously it was a price of a car in the previous project. In this project, it will be churn, which is a categorical variable. So we'll take a look at that. And we will look at different feature importance characteristics. So we will do some analysis to understand which features are important, and they customers with these characteristics, they are more likely to churn than with others. So in particular, we will look at churn rate and risk ratio. Then we will talk about other feature importance metrics like mutual information and correlation. Then we will talk about encoding categorical variables. So this time we will, instead of implementing it ourselves, we will use scikit-learn. Then we will talk about logistic regression, which is a model for solving this kind of classification problems. And we will compare this logistic regression with linear regression. We will not implement ourselves. We will use a library for that. So this is what we'll do here. So we'll use scikit-learn for that and see how well it does. And we will then look under the hood and understand what the coefficients of this model mean and how we can interpret it. And then we will see how to use this. So that's approximately the plan for this session. In the next lesson, we will download the data and do data preparation. See you soon.